Right, so welcome back to another episode of my Premier League Game Week predictions, and this is of course now Game Week 20, so we are into the second half of the Premier League season, and yet more interesting games to, fathom this week. But before I do get into these predictions, I would like to quickly ask you guys to subscribe to the channel real quick, because we are now looking to hit 1,300 subscribers as soon as we possibly can on this channel. So if you do subscribe to the channel, it would cost you absolutely nothing and would very much make my day, so it is very much a win-win situation. And let's get into predicting these Game Week 20 Premier League fixtures. Starting off with the first game of this game week at Selhurst Park, Crystal Palace versus West Ham United. A bit of a London derby here. Palace have gotten a bit of a break since their last game, when of course they did lose 4-0 to Manchester City. They haven't actually played in the Premier League, or played, in general, since the 17th of January. West Ham eased past Doncaster 4-0 in the FA Cup over the weekend, and actually they're on a roll at this moment in time. They have won their last 5 games in all competitions and haven't lost in 7 games. And as I said, a bit of a London derby here between two teams that, can be good going forward at times, but mostly are very solid at the back, and I think this one should be a very, very interesting game. I can't really split them if I'm honest, and that is why I've gone for a bit of a boring draw here. I've gone for Crystal Palace 1, West Ham United 1, but overall should be a decent game, should be a tight game. Now onto the game at St James's Park between Newcastle United and Leeds United. Now Newcastle haven't won in 9 games, and in my personal opinion are actually in serious danger of being dragged into the relegation zone. Obviously the brand of football, as we all know, damage limitation football as I like to refer to it, and Newcastle really not looking promising whatsoever here, and actually Leeds themselves have had a really, really bad start to 2021. They haven't actually entered 2021 yet, I'm fully convinced, because they haven't won yet in the new year. They did have a little bit of a break though themselves, like of course Crystal Palace did, because they didn't play in the FA Cup this weekend, so they should have a bit of a rest in their squad. And the last time these two sides did play last month, Leeds did come away with a 5-2 win at Elland Road, and let's be honest, Leeds will control this game from start to finish. I mean, Newcastle are just going to sit back like they usually do and hope to soak up the pressure from Leeds, and maybe hit them on the break with Callum Wilson or Joe Linton or someone like that. And that is why I think that Leeds will win this one just about, because they do have Calvin Phillips back as well, which of course is massive for them. I've gone for Newcastle United 1, Leeds United 2, and overall can't really see anything other than a Leeds win here. Now on to West Bromwich Albion versus Manchester City at the Hawthorns. Now West Brom did beat Wolves in their second last game, and then of course actually did go and lose to West Ham the game after that. And actually the last time these two sides played, which was of course at the Etihad, West Brom did manage to get a point in a 1-1 draw, so they will definitely be looking to recreate those circumstances here in this one. But that draw against West Brom actually did seem to spark something in City, because they've been absolutely incredible since then. The introduction of Ruben Dias has obviously made over their defence completely. However, they are missing Kevin De Bruyne, who is of course now injured for 6 weeks, which should of course be massive for them in terms of obviously a massive loss. And I think this will be very, very tough for West Brom, of course, as we all know, but I do think that City should win this fairly comfortably, and that is why I've gone for West Brom 0, Manchester City 2, but overall I think that West Brom, it shouldn't be an absolute walkover for City, because I think Sam Allardyce actually does have West Brom playing relatively well, and they're relatively hard to beat, but I do think that City should come away with 3 points in this one. Now onto the game at St Mary's, Southampton versus Arsenal. Now this exact fixture did happen on Saturday, 12:30 kickoff in the FA Cup, and Southampton of course did come out ahead with a 1-0 victory. Arsenal did continue their very good form in the Premier League with a 3-0 victory over Newcastle, comprehensive victory last week, and I think this game against Southampton should prove to be their toughest task yet, after of course that good run did start against Chelsea at the Emirates. Southampton though have got a few injuries themselves, like Kyle Walker-Peters, I think Aurel Romeu is still injured, and Ryan Bertrand is suspended, so this should be a very, very tough task for Southampton. I've gone for a bit of a high scoring draw here. I think it will be an interesting game, and I've gone for Southampton 2, Arsenal 2, but overall it should be a very good and interesting game. Now on to Chelsea versus Wolves at Stamford Bridge, and of course the first Chelsea game without Frank Lampard as manager, the first ever video on this channel where Frank Lampard is not Chelsea manager. And this one is going to be quite a hard game to predict, because of course Thomas Tuchel will take charge of his first Chelsea game here, more than likely, and will we get that new manager bounce? Who knows? Wolves themselves have been on absolutely terrible form, but they will be confident going into this one, because of course Chelsea, as we all know, because of Frank Lampard's sacking especially, the reason why he was sacked was because of the poor form we have been on, so Wolves will really fancy the chances in this one, especially after signing Willian Jose on a season-long loan with an option to buy from Real Sociedad. And to be honest, I'm not entirely sure that Thomas Tuchel can have a massive impact on this Chelsea team after the short space of time he has been here, but I do think that new manager bounce will kick in. I do think Chelsea will win this relatively comfortably with a Chelsea win here. I've gone for Chelsea 2, Wolves 0, and Chelsea getting back to winning ways after Frank Lampard's sacking. Now onto the game at Turf Moor, Burnley versus Aston Villa, the Claret Derby. Now Burnley did stun Liverpool last weekend with a 1-0 win at Anfield. I still can't comprehend how that result actually happened. An incredible performance from them, but now of course they do play a very, very solid and very informed Aston Villa side. And as I said, Aston Villa looking really, really solid right now, one of the most informed teams in the Premier League at this moment in time in terms of the performances. They saw off Newcastle really comfortably last weekend, and of course only narrowly lost to Manchester City, so this should be a very, very tough task for Burnley, and I think just because of the fact that Villa have just been absolutely credible, they're on on a run at this moment in time. I do think they should win this, but I do think it will be narrow, and I think it'll be Burnley 1, Aston Villa 2, but yeah, I just think that Aston Villa are too good not to get a result in this one. And despite the heroic performance for Burnley at Anfield last week, I do think they will suffer defeat here at Aston Villa. Now onto the game at the Amex Stadium, Brighton & Hove Albion versus Fulham. Now this game is absolutely huge, a relegation 6-pointer if we've ever seen one. Brighton did finally get themselves 3 points after that whole thing of, they can't score goals. They finally did get a win at Elland Road against Leeds United, who of course have suffered themselves, and yeah, they will be looking to build on that one with this absolute relegation 6-pointer against the Fulham side, who themselves have lost their last 2 games, of course, to Chelsea and Manchester United respectively. They did look very good though, Fulham, and I do think that they will take some stopping, because I think they're actually a very good side, as you all know, and they need to start turning these draws into wins if they are going to stay up. Whoever wins this will, I think, just breathe a massive sigh of relief in terms of the relegation battle, but I do think that Fulham are the stronger of these two sides, and I do think that Fulham will just about squeeze 3 points from this one. I've gone for Brighton 0, Fulham 1, but yeah, overall should be a very interesting game, a very tight game between two sides that are right down at the bottom. Now onto the game at Old Trafford, top of the table Manchester United versus bottom of the table Sheffield United. Now Man United, they actually look relatively unstoppable at this moment in time, and of course they do go into this game against the bottom team in the league at home, so should be a relatively comfortable home banker here. Sheffield United couldn't quite build on that Newcastle victory at Bramall Lane, and obviously they did lose 3-1 to Spurs at Bramall Lane the week after, and this one will be another uphill battle against a very unformed, a very strong Manchester United team, and overall I think that I can't really see anything other than a Manchester United win here. I don't think it'll be as comfortable as the form table does suggest. I think it will be Manchester United 3, Sheffield United 1, but yeah, overall I think it won't be as straightforward as people actually do think, and I think that Sheffield United will make it a bit of a game for most of the game. Now onto the game at Goodison Park, Everton versus Leicester City. Now this one should be a very good game between two sides that are doing very well this season to challenge the top 6 in the Premier League. Everton have a nearly full fit squad for this game. I think the only actual major departure they have is Abdoulaye Doucouré, who is of course suspended after getting 5 bookings, and Everton of course can go 2 points off top spot in the Premier League table if they do win both their games in hand, so they're really doing really well this season under Carlo Ancelotti, much improved from last season. And Leicester of course are in fact in a title race at this moment in time, and last time out last week they actually did beat Chelsea of course 2-0 to get Frank Lampard sacked, and looked really convincing in that game. Leicester will take some stopping from a lot of Premier League sides this season. They really have gone under the radar for how good they have been, but overall I think that they are missing Jamie Vardy for this one, which of course will be massive, and for that reason I don't think they'll be able to win this one. I do think it'll be a relatively boring draw here, and I've gone for Everton 1, Leicester 1, but in terms of me saying it's a boring draw, I do think it actually will be quite a good game, but I mean boring is in the fact that there's only 2 goals scored, but I've gone for a draw either way. Now on to the final game of the week, and that is on Thursday night, Tottenham Hotspur versus Liverpool at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, the biggest game of the week by an absolute country mile. The pressure is really on Liverpool. That is now 6 winless games in a row for them. They really need to get back to winning ways and really need to get back onto form. Spurs themselves though are beginning to pick up a bit of form after of course they did lose it over the Christmas period, and I think they really will make it a tough test for Liverpool like they did at Anfield in that 2-1 defeat with a Roberto Firmino last minute header winner. This one is really tough to call if I'm being perfectly honest, simply because of the fact that I can't really see Spurs losing this, but at the same time I really can't see Liverpool losing this simply because they can't afford to, and that is why I've gone for a bit of a draw. I've gone for a goalless draw here. I think that obviously Mourinho will park the bus from minute 0 to minute 90, and Liverpool just look really confident in front of goal at this moment in time. I do think it will be a 0-0 draw. I've gone for Tottenham 0, Liverpool 0, maybe surprise to a lot of you people, but I just think it makes sense, especially with the pattern we have been seeing in the big 6 games so far this season. And yeah, so those are my predictions for the Premier League this game week. If you want to go and leave your predictions down in the comment section below, please feel free to do so. I'm very interested to see how you guys think these games will go. And yeah, that's the end of the video, so if you did enjoy this video, make sure to drop a like. As per usual, 20 likes would be massively appreciated by myself if we can hit that, and as I said at the start of this video, if we could hit 1,300 subscribers as soon as we possibly can, that would be very much appreciated. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. See ya.